So if you are an international student on an F1 visa, you might be asking yourself, do I really need to pay taxes in the US? Well, the short answer is yes. You may have heard that the F1 students can be exempt from US taxes for about 5 years, which allows them to pay lower taxes than US residents. Well, generally F1 students are considered US tax non-residents. But now here's where it gets slightly tricky. If you are a STEM student and you hold an F1 visa for a total of, let's say, 7 years, do you still qualify for these lower taxes during those extra 2 years? That's the main question. Hi, I'm Saiman Shetty, your host and founder of the Smart Green Card program. Before we dive into this important topic, do me a favor, hit that like button, because it really helps this video reach other people who are facing the same tax challenges as you are while transitioning from the F1 to the H1B. Alright, let's get straight into it. First off, let's talk about the basics. If you spend more days in the US than a certain number of days during the current and previous 2 years, and this is known as the substantial presence test. For example, if you hold an H1B visa, you will be seen as a US tax resident, which means you will need to pay the same tax rates as the US citizens and report all your global assets to the government as well. Now, if you are on an F1 visa, you generally benefit from a special exemption from the substantial presence test, which also allows you to pay lower taxes on your US income and enjoy other tax benefits for 5 calendar years. And this means that you don't have to pay taxes like the Social Security and the Medicare, which is kind of like a nice relief. It's a decent amount of percentage of your paycheck. Now, here's the catch though. While these tax benefits last for 5 years, students in STEM OPT programs may be able to hold their F1 visas for up to 7 years to maintain your non-resident status and enjoy these tax perks during that extra time. You need to meet a couple of important conditions. Number one is to prove your intent to return. Now, you need to show that, let's say, India, if you're from India, is your permanent home. This means that you should demonstrate strong social and familial ties to India back home, which helps you prove your intention to return to India after your purpose of stay. Number two is avoid changing your visa status. You make sure that you don't do anything that could change your visa status to that of a lawful permanent resident or the H1B. Obviously, this is something that people usually don't desire. They would want to convert to a green card very quickly, but if your long-term goal is not to stay in the US at all anyway, then you may want to make use of this provision as well. Now, here's where things get a little bit tricky though. Some accountants might hesitate to sign tax returns for individuals claiming non-resident status if they are involved in the lottery or applying for permanent residency. Now, not a lot of tax professionals in the US are proficient with filing for non-residents. Most of them file for citizens and residents like H1B holders and green card holders. So you might also want to be a little selective when you're trying to approach these tax people to understand their area of expertise as well. So this can particularly be challenging for students on, let's say, a second F1 visa, as they might not be able to claim some tax benefits like before. Now, this also means that you could end up paying more taxes and have to report all your global assets like bank accounts, properties, and investments in India and other countries, including family trusts or businesses. Honestly, that's a lot of extra paperwork and could even mean needing to cut ties with assets out of the US to keep those tax benefits in the US and avoid any penalties for not reporting everything. Now, it's worth noting though that applying for H1B visa doesn't really change your tax status. Only once your H1B application is approved do the substantial presence test rules kick in. And that's when your H1B comes into effect, which for most cap subject H1B is around October of that year that you won the lottery. And you'll have to pay taxes like ordinary US citizens as well. Additionally, tax filings occur in April each year, while the H1B applications are typically filed in June. So if a student applies for an H1B in June, then there may be uncertainty about selection, which complicates the tax considerations even further. Well, to sum it up though, applying for H1B doesn't automatically mean that you are considered a US tax resident or that you will have to pay the full tax rate. But some CPAs might interpret it that way, and that is where you have to be a little careful. And that's why it's smart to seek professional advice from CPAs who specialize in tax filings for F1 to H1B transitions. And if you have any questions and thoughts, please drop them in the comments below. I'm more than happy to help you navigate your immigration journey. Now, as an F1 student, are you really worried about your low chances in the H1B lottery? I think last year, less than 1 in 3 people got picked in the H1B lottery. Now, don't worry, there is an alternative path to explore talent visas like the O1A and the EB1A, in some cases even the EB2 NIW, and these are all routes to a permanent solution, not a temporary band-aid solution that you keep applying. Now, here's some good news though. We have launched the Smart Immigrant Club, a completely free of charge community where you can get guidance and resources to unlock the O1A and the EB1A visas for you. If you're interested in joining, click the link in the description below. You don't have to pay anything. You can just join the Smart Immigrant Club. Join us on this YouTube journey as well for daily insights into the EB1A process. Subscribe now for step-by-step guidance for free to help you achieve your EB1A goals. Thanks for watching, and until next time, this is Saiman Shetty signing off. Take care and peace.